We the lazy declare that we will recline when we feel inclined. And yes, we feel inclined.
We answered our kids' questions all day. It's our time to prioritize, no priorities.
Why?
Because
we put in back-to-back doubles. So now we'll be putting in extra OT right here.
We've checked off our to-do list.
Now we're checking off our to-don't list.
We the lazy are taking back lazy.
By getting comfy on our Lazy Boy furniture.
Lazy Boy, long live the lazy.
When storms start to blow and danger strikes, we come together to face any challenge as a community. And when trouble hits our county, HCFL Alert is your #1 source for information. HCFL Alert is with you before, during, and after the storm. To sign up, visit hcfl.gov/HCFL Alert so we know how and when to notify you about local emergencies. The safest way through bad weather is together.
Time, weather, and highways.
How you doing, everybody? I'm Chief Meteorologist Denis Phillips. Heat, still the hot topic of weather conversation, right?
Streaming from the ABC Action Weather Center in Studio A, this is Denis Phillips Live, brought to you by Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries, Long Live the Lazy, and by HCFL Alert.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Thursday night edition of Denis Phillips Live. People are frantically running around the cameras. You guys are good. It's a streaming show. It's laid back. How you doing? It's like all of a sudden, you're like a kid with a cookie jar, you know, in the hand of the cookie jar, like, oh, run away. Anyway, how you guys doing? Losing my voice. I think I'm going to last for a half hour here. But this is an interesting night of weather. We have dry conditions. We'll talk about why. We'll talk about, you see that little orange blob behind me? And if you've been on TikTok or on Facebook, you've probably seen, there are, how do I put this politely? There's a bunch of dumb people out there on TikTok who like come out and say, oh, yeah, you got this thing and it's going to turn red and then it's going to turn into a big storm. Where do they get this nonsense? It just, and of course, the way that it works, it goes from them to viewers to me. Because then I get the questions and the messages. Denis, I just saw on TikTok that we're all going to die. And it's going to be, I'm like, where? What? Check your sources, folks. That's all I can say. Check, and people are still running around. Check your sources because it's just ridiculous, right? There's going to be a little bit of rain out of that little orange blob. We've been talking about it for a week. It's it. And it's going in an area, Putnam County, St. Johns County, up into southeastern Georgia that really need the rain a lot. So it's a good thing. I don't know, Anyway, how goes it, everybody? Let's do some hellos. And we have got Stephen in Clearwater. How goes it? Bridget, good to see you. I shared that post that you sent me with Paul. Karen at Homosassa. Dave, good to see you. Today's the first day of summer. Happy summer, everybody. And it is my treat night here at ABC Action News. Now, this is a 30-year tradition starting back in the days of Drew Soicher, Marty Tucker, Brendan McLaughlin, Wayne Shaddig. That was our nighttime, folks. I was the morning guy with Trina Robinson and Frank Fraboni. Bob Kendrick and Angie Moreski did the 5:30 news. The weekends were maybe Linda Hurtado. I can't remember what shift Linda did. Maybe Linda did the 5:30. I don't remember. But Bob Kendrick, and then I don't remember who the weekend people were either. But regardless, we started this tradition 30 years ago. We're on Thursday nights. We would bring a treat. Now, we had an anchor, Walt Macaborski, who's now in Austin, Texas, I think. Walt tried to change the name to Dessert Night. That did not fly. It is Treat Night. It always will be Treat Night. And that is where we are. And we're coming up on our 30-year anniversary in November. Crazy. So anyway, you guys know me. I'm a big cupcake guy. And sometimes I brought donuts a couple of times ago when it's my turn, because every week it's somebody else's turn. This week's my turn. I got to show you this. So you guys know my affinity for Delicious cupcakes. I mean, if you've seen me post it, they were very close to my house, and I used to go in there all the time with my kids, and we just loved them. So they made these really awesome cake pops. So here, let me show you. We'll get into the weather. If you're here just for weather, you're in the wrong place. It's just, we give you the weather, but we also talk about lots of other stuff. So check these out. Those are their cake pops. They're pretty funny. So I've not tried them yet. Ryan did. There was a cookies and cream one, I think. So I might have to try one of those. But that will go out with cake, with treat night, as well as some cupcakes and some other stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. So who do we have here? We've got Dawn. How you doing? Appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah. Bridget knows my Jimmy Stewart voice. By the way, I watched a Jimmy Stewart movie while I was on the cruise ship. Spirit of St. Louis, I think. He was flying an airplane across the Atlantic. I don't know, it was something. But no, this is not a cruise thing, I don't think, Jacob. I think this is just, I don't know what it is. But anyway, regardless, that's my voice whenever I'm talking about somebody that I probably have philosophical differences with. I will throw out with it. And I'm sure it's probably some people's angry old man voice too. It's not my intent. It's just kind of my voice that I make on it. Kelly, how you doing? Good to see you. Greetings in Brooksville from Terry. Chicago's in the house. Tracy, going to Florida this weekend. So Tracy, you are going to experience Florida weather at its finest. This weekend will be sunny in the morning on Saturday, stormy in the afternoon. Sunny late morning until early afternoon along the coast with some rain. You will see rain for about an hour, 90 minutes. As Floridians, we do not cancel weekend plans. We just know there's going to be maybe an hour or 90 minutes of rain, and then it's going to be over, and then it will be a sauna afterwards with incredible humidity. That is Florida. That is the Florida we all know and love. Maybe not love, but that's Florida we all know. Some folks love. And that's this weekend, and that's all of next week as well. All right? So, how do you get those cake pops, Brandy? Brandy, apparently they have them in their store. Now, okay, I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure where the store is because I've never gone since they moved. They used to be right down the street from me in Palm Harbor, and I went all the time, but they moved to Newport Richie, and I just don't get up there very often, so it's delicious. I think delicious cupcakes. I think if you Google it, you'll probably find out. And they did tell me that they actually have more of those cake pops, so go figure. If you're asking what cake pops, it's these ones, and I'll post them for my treat night, because I always post my treat nights. These are, sometimes they're homemade cupcakes from my family. Sometimes I get donuts. Today I got them delicious cupcakes. Drew Soysher one time brought a good humor truck. Drew Soysher was our sports guy, the original sports guy here. Literally rented out a Good Humor truck. And by the way, for folks who are young, Good Humor ice cream used to have trucks, like an ice cream truck that went around, and it was a Good Humor truck. And got ice cream from that, which is pretty awesome. All right, so we got lots of folks here. Let's go ahead and jump in because I do want to answer all said questions. Michael, how you doing, my friend? And we want to talk tropics. We want to talk weather, storms, rain. Watching from Colorado, Florida native, Kathy. How you doing, Kathy? Good to see you. Sheila, Newport Richie, how are you doing? Good to see you. Brandy, laughing at Good Humor. They were good. They still sell Good Humor ice cream at the store in the freezer section. You can still find them, like the strawberry shortcake pops and whatever. You know, they still sell it. You just don't really see Good Humor ice cream trucks anymore. Yeah, they look like milk trucks, Andorra. You're exactly right. They look like milk trucks. Robin, how you doing? Michael says they still have Mr. Softy ice cream trucks in Philly area. Those were the good old days. Brandy loves the strawberry ones. SeaWorld tomorrow, Michaela. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Saturday, I don't know. You know, I think I may be going to SeaWorld. I have not been to SeaWorld in a decade, maybe. But I might be going in July. I think they have a new baby shark attraction, like you can swim with baby sharks. It's a true story. I don't know anything about it yet, but that's what I've heard. I may go do that. Or I might just swim with the dolphins, because Ryan has never done that before. Disney Golf on Sunday after 2 p.m. How does it look? It looks wet. Okay. So let's just go and jump into the weather, all right? And then we will talk about, because I think some people have forgotten what Florida weather is like. Maria, how are you? Good to see you. In Gulfport. So it is excellent to see you. Hi from Gulfport. Alex, how you doing, my friend? Now you're putting that song in my head, B-dubs. James is asking about golf. James is the golf pro over at East Lake Woodlands. Wants to know how the golf's going to be. Tell us about Polk County. Got all these questions. You're stressing me out. My voice won't last. All right. There's the new drought index numbers, and they look so much better than they did this time last week. They're updated every week. And areas that were in a drought south of I-4 are obviously no longer in a drought. Bonnie in Treasure Island, how you doing? Brooke, thank you very much. Joy Lynn, good to see you as well. So the drought numbers look better, and they're going to continue to look better. Sean was at Universal today. Good weather at Universal. It was very hot and very dry. There's the radar. There was not a lot. You were in Margaritaville, too. Carmen, good to see you. I had a blast, too. I mean, I'm telling you, I talked about this a couple days ago. A lot of people have been asking me about that cruise because, you know, it's a new cruise ship out of Tampa. So I think a lot of people are interested in whether or not they try. And, like, I'm just giving you my honest opinion. There are some people who just they wanted to bash it. I don't know. I had no expectations. I was really pleasantly surprised. The ship was awesome. It was beautiful. The rooms were great. There were some issues. You know what? I'm sure those issues will get fixed. But the amount of money that we spent versus some of the other cruise lines was so much lower, and I had a great time. So I have no problem giving a thumbs up. Bridget, I do not know if we would ever have a DPL cruise. I think we would capsize. I think at the end of the day, we would probably run into some real issues, and they would never let us back. I just think that's what's going to happen. So I kind of doubt it. Yeah, Rita, I think Ryan would love. I don't know if she's going to want to swim with the dolphins or with the shark. I'm not sure. Sailing the Islander next Friday, Lori, will enjoy. Let me know how it goes. Because, again, I had a great time. I really did. All right, let's get back to it. So, okay. There is the radar. You will get more rain in Seminole, Carolyn. Yeah, she is not shy, Marianne. She is not shy. She likes the spotlight. So there's that east to west flow. All right, there's a live look at the radar. All is quiet. Temperatures right now still in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Those are your current temperatures. Highs today averaging a couple of degrees above average. Hit 95 in Plant City, 93 in Tampa, 92 in Brooksville. Low 90s, Clearwater to St. Pete. A lot of people have asked about the whole DPL cruise thing. I just don't think I could handle it. I don't think I could. I think it would be the end of me. Mike has actually done that. We would get banned, Bridget and Linda. Yeah, Mike over Mike's weather page, he has a cruise that he did on spring break. Next year he said he's doing it in the summer. I can't remember why. I think his daughter has a tournament or something. But yeah, he has a good time with his. But Mike's a bigger partier than me. Let's be totally honest with this. Mike is a far bigger partier than I am. Mike can keep up with you guys. I don't know about me. Mike leads the way in that. I'm more of a just hang on the edge of the pool or like lay in the lawn chair and just kind of like soak up the sun's rays as opposed to just, whereas we had an art trip when we went a couple days ago, we had a guy, funny guy, his father, because we had a lot of my daughter's softball team was on there, and Carrie was the extreme partier guy. That I have never laughed so hard at a person in my entire life. And I will forever have memories and video, no less, of some of the time that Carrie spent on the blackjack table and everything else. I mean, it was a blast. I'll say it again. I had an absolutely great time. Okay. So, all right, 93 over 76. The average is 91 over 76. All right, Michael, I will tell you this. All right, I'm just going to share a little bit of something, and then this is all of it, and we'll get back into the weather stuff. Okay, I can hold my liquor. I can. I'm not a big drinker, and the reason I am is because, honestly, alcohol doesn't really have that much of an impact on me. It's a true story. Ask my kids. It's a true story. I went on a cruise with my son, well, we all went, and Shay, and we were out doing shots of liquid marijuana or something else. It's like schnapps, and I don't know what the heck it was in there, but it is feeding. Green tea. It was a green tea. It's got green tea. 15 shots later, I'm still fine. And Shay's like, ah, you know, so it's like, so you can ask my children for verification of that. The only time, and this is a true story, after 3 bottles of wine and 4 or 5 glasses of drinks in New York City, apparently I was walking down the street and I did a little lean. Just a lean, and I've been, ever since then, oh yeah, Dad had too much to drink. He leaned a little bit. So you say that, Michael, about the alcohol thing. That's another reason why I just don't drink. It just doesn't do anything for me. It's not my thing. Not my thing. All right, let's get back. Let's get back to weather. Okay. So I'm reading your comments. Yeah, the whole lean thing is we were walking to find the frontage for the friend's apartment. We were in that part of New York because we had dinner at an Italian restaurant. It was really good and had three or four, I can't remember, bottles of wine. And that was after 5 or 6 sex on the beach drinks at the hotel because they were free at happy hour on Embassy Suites. You stay at Embassy Suites, is the free happy hour, and they give you all these free drinks. So all of that, and there was just a little lean. And to this date, I do not live that lean down. I mean, it was a little lean. That was it. All right, so there's a look at, you can begin to see the outer moisture, the outer bands of that moisture off to the east, that area in orange. And we're going to actually check in a second and see if that area in orange is, Katie just said, okay, I'll just Google the weather. We're getting to the weather. Katie, and I know you understand this. Or maybe you don't, because maybe you're new to this, but we go all over the place on this. We end up answering all your questions and get into the weather, but to fill 30 minutes with just the forecast, hazy sunshine, a chance of late day storms, highs in the low 90s. What's the fun of that, right? What's the fun of that? We have the conversations going on amongst you in here. And, I want to tell you one other thing that happened. So I got a notification from Facebook that one of my posts was taken down because they said it was not right or wasn't a good post or whatever. And there's really nobody that you can talk to about that, but you can put in a dispute. And I got a notification like 2 hours later saying, oops, it was our bad. Your post was fine. It was the one about my Christmas lights fight. It was the one where I said, hey, click on this link if you want to audition for the Great American Christmas Light Fight because we're ABC. And I mentioned I got invited to audition by their casting agent, but I can't because I'm an ABC employee. And so I put out the link, hey, but maybe you guys can. I couldn't. And they took it down and said that what was the word they used? Whatever their AI uses to determine whether or not something's spam or not, flagged it as spam. But when they went back and looked at it, they're like, oh, no, this was fine. So they put it back on. So I had a victory. That was a good thing. I was pretty excited. But I was afraid to, to put the dispute in, because then I was afraid something would happen to my account, because you just never know. And I didn't want to take that chance in hurricane season. But it all worked out well. All right, let's get back. Ryan, I'm losing my voice. I don't know. I am definitely losing my voice. All right, so Futurecast, tomorrow morning, you see the little wave moving off to the north, and there it kind of comes in. I'm going to go over here and go hour by hour. Cheryl, that's a footnote. That's a note for you guys out there. Look what Cheryl just posted. Cheryl says she's a cheap date. All right, so I will tell you another person I work with who has similar characteristics, so she admits, but I won't give any names, Wendy. All right, so anyway, there's 6 o'clock tomorrow night. First of all, I want to look. There is a look at your rotation. See your rotation off of, say, St. Augustine, Daytona, tomorrow morning? That's your wave. Then some of the moisture comes this way. So tomorrow will be afternoon and evening rain. Typical Florida summer stuff, okay? There's 3 o'clock. There's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. See, still some action out there, but coverage maybe 40%. Saturday morning, it's quiet. By the way, I just thought about something. You said you would just Google the forecast. I can't remember what your name was. Did you see my post a couple days ago? My daughter Ryan goes, Dad, is it going to rain? And I said, yeah. Well, Google heard on we have one of those Google things, a Nest network, and Google heard, is it going to rain? And Google answered, probably not. 2 minutes later, it was raining. Literally 2 minutes later. So mankind greater than AI when it comes to weather forecasts. So you go right ahead and Google the forecast, but it ain't going to be right. Just saying. All right, so let's get back to where we were. Okay, so there's a look at Saturday morning. Dry for the most part. Lunchtime, maybe 1 or 2 clouds. You've seen it along the coast. This would be right along the bay, actually, Safety Harbor, Oldsmar. Around 1 o'clock, it's pretty common for us to get like one of those clouds dumping some rain over that area. And then everything starts to move inland a little bit. And then we see the heaviest rain across inland counties. Now, you can say, oh boy, that looks like last summer. It does, but look at where they start to come back later on. They still start to drift back. So we're going to have about 60 to 65% coverage on Saturday in the afternoon, mostly from 2 to 8. Typical Florida weather. Florida summer weather. It winds down by 10 o'clock. But there will be plenty of areas that are not going to get a drop of rain out of that. So my point is, do not cancel your plans. Okay? Do not cancel your plans. Yes, Ryan's right. The 1 p.m. Pinellas County thunderstorm. You're exactly right. Josh, it is just the beginning. We're going to have rain all days. As opposed to, oh my gosh, on my phone, I just got weather forecast because Google heard me on my phone say, hey, Google. And they're always listening, people. Always listening. All right, so anyway, Sunday, I think the coverage will be a little more widespread. And there's your lunchtime on Sunday. More widespread rain along the coast, still pushing inland, and still going to come back toward the west later on in the day. So we've got some really solid rainfall potential. Saturday and Sunday between 60 and 70%. Okay? 60 to 70%. I'm not really congested. I don't know. I got a little something going, but I took a lot of echinacea and vitamin C. I'm going to be okay. Jessica, that's a good question. I'm going to be there as well at that exact same time, and I do think there will be, okay. So here, for the people who are asking the questions about is it going to be raining in a specific spot at a specific time in Florida in the summer, you guys know that it can be pouring down rain across the street at your neighbor's house and sunny at yours. That is our weather now through the summer. So I will tell you, in Orlando at 1 o'clock, yeah, there will be some rain out there on Saturday afternoon. Does not mean it's going to be raining where you are, though. That is our reality, which is why I tell people, do not cancel plans. Do not cancel plans in the summertime just because you think it's going to rain. Because 9 times out of 10, it'll pour across the street and not at your house, and you'll be like, that Dennis, he told me to cancel. I'm like, no, I will never, never tell you to cancel weekend plans in the summer unless you got a hurricane coming. That's the only time. It's the only time. Okay, you're worried about Southeast Georgia, Karen? You got nothing to worry about. They're going to have a little bit better rain coverage out of this thing late tonight into tomorrow. Otherwise, not a big deal. Yes, Shelley, it is going to rain in North Florida because of that yellow area. Now let's look and see if the NHC has updated any of their stuff for the 8 o'clock advisory, which they probably have. And it is now up to 50%. So let's go ahead and show you that. The 8 o'clock update shows you right here. Satellite imagery shows that shower activity associated with the area of low pressure has become a little better organized during the past 24 hours. However, earlier Air Force recon hurricane hunters indicated that the system does not have a well-defined circulation. Environmental conditions remain marginally conducive for additional development, and the system could become a depression with the low moving west-northwest at 15 miles an hour. Okay, here's the key to this. Forget all that nonsense. The system is expected to approach the northeastern coast of Florida or Georgia coast early on Friday. So let's be honest. Do you really think that this ragged little blob of clouds and rain is going to amount to a hill of beans by tomorrow morning? The answer is no. Might recon find a 40-mile-an-hour wind somewhere in there and bump it to be a tropical storm? Sure, it could happen. But when you see maximum sustained winds of 40, 50, 60, whatever you see, it's in one small area. That is a blob of rain and a little bit of wind. And if it gets better if it gets enough wind in a 3-mile area that it bumps to 40 miles an hour and you get tropical storm, whatever the next name is, I don't even know, it's the same system. It's a little bit of rain. It's some rain and a few spots and a gust. It is less rain and less wind than our storms that we're going to have here Saturday and Sunday. All right? So don't get all that. And I guarantee you the headlines are out there right now on social. Oh, Hurricane Center bumps up chance to 50%. Give me a break. It's a little blob of rain. It's going to rain heavier here than it's going to be up there. All right. So anyway. All right. Let us see. Oh, the Weather Channel did not say that. I don't believe you. I don't believe anybody saying that. Because as much as they want to hype something, no, I don't believe it. Drought numbers I already showed, Ryan. The entire area under abnormal dry conditions. But that is better than a drought, which is what it was earlier. Jody, how you doing in Palm Harbor? Rule number 7, you're exactly right. So when you look at the latest, again, here it is. I'm going to show you this. All right. This area in orange, what's left of Alberto, is no longer there. This is a good chance of development in the exact same spot that Alberto went moving west. Same area of rain for southeastern Texas and Mexico. This is the one that's going to move in tomorrow morning. And even if it's a depression or a storm, it's just a blob of rain and it's no big deal. What's behind it? Well, nothing. Check it out. This is a look at the long-range forecast from the Climate Prediction Center for the next week. You've got the area in the Bay of Campeche, and that is it. Drier air right there. See that dry air right there? Right there. That's the rest of the week. And then you go from July 3rd to July 9th. Now, yes, this is experimental. We will highlight that. But look at the Gulf, look at the Caribbean, look at the dry air, nothing. So, outside of the Bay of Campeche or whatever that little orange blob might do in the next 6 hours east of us, we are looking very good, very, very good through the middle of July. All right? That's it. The dust flow is still significant. Martin, good question. So let us talk about that briefly. All right? I will do a quick blow through in my hurricane. Let me look at the hurricane maps here. They're in here somewhere. Probably going to take a second to load. Here, I'm just going to go through these and see if it works. So there's what's out. Let me show you this. Here's the remnants of Alberto. Okay? Moving away. All right? And then you have the track, which no longer is updated because the last advisory has been issued. There you have our rain, the outer edge of that little orange blob. Dodie in Land O'Lakes, how you doing? Then, why is this not advancing? It should be advancing, but it's not. Oh, it's not loaded yet. All right, I want to show you the Saharan dust, because this is important. Wait a minute, stand by. I know the streamers are done in about a minute and a half, but I do want to show you the Saharan dust map, because it has to load. Stand by. Treat night, I got to get my treat night stuff getting ready, coming up too. All right, I'm loading. You should see my PowerPoints. I mean, I've got literally 6,000 thumbnails on here that I got to go through. All right, here you go. So here's a look at the Saharan dust. You can do it. You can load. And, okay, there it is. Lots of Saharan dust. Lots of Saharan dust. So development will not occur. I mean, yes, there might we have a depression east of us? I guess it's possible. But don't you dare worry about it, because it's a bunch of nonsense. The one in the southwest stuff, yeah, all that stuff up on my page are my Etsy rule number 7 things. People think I love Etsy. No. Those are my rule number 7 things that we do for charity. So if you go to my page, the top of my page on Facebook, you'll see all our rule number 7 stuff, all the new colors. They are awesome, and all go towards different local charities. So anyway, there is a look at the Saharan dust. As long as it's like that, and it will be for a while, we will be good to go. It normally recedes north in August, and that's when things get active. If you're watching on streaming, have a great night and a great weekend. All right, streamers are gone. No. Dennis, that's actually a good question. I don't think that's going to happen. All right, Bridget's quoting a Toto song, as, of course, we know that she will, because Bridget is a Toto fanatic. She is. I was going to call her a Toto, the group Toto, not the dog in Wizard of Oz. I was going to call her somewhat of a stalker type of for Toto, but I don't think so, because they know her and they think she's awesome. But I've never seen a bigger I believe, I would say this without any hesitation, that Bridget is the biggest Toto fan on planet Earth. I believe that is true. All right, so there's the water temperatures. We all know how warm the water is. We all know how warm that water is all the way out there into the Atlantic. It's super warm. But just because you have warm water does not mean you have development. There are other factors that go on. Sarah, I'm going on vacation to Clearwater Beach with my family next month on the 12th. Should I be worried about hurricane season? No, you should not, Sarah. Gulf of Mexico in mid-July usually is just fine. So you are good. Okay. Any other questions? Driving from Tampa to St. Augustine this weekend to get my college grad stuff out of storage. Should we go Saturday or Sunday? That's an interesting question. Are you going in the morning or the afternoon? Tangi, are you going in the morning or the afternoon? The earlier the better. If you go on Saturday, the earlier the better. If you're driving through Central or East Florida in the afternoon on Saturday, it's going to rain. Sunday, it will rain as well, a little earlier in the day. So if you leave earlier on Saturday, you're probably better. When is Pinellas Park going to get some rain? Tim is asking. I say this weekend. Emily's just here to say hello. Hello, Emily. How are you? Okay. Michael's saying it's stupid hot in Philadelphia right now. Greetings from southeastern Polk. Priscilla, how are you? Is the dust going to dust up our skies again? Great question, Kim. At this point, that answer is no. It will be thunderstorms, Stephanie. It will be thunderstorms. All right, Matt asked a good question. How much rain in Newport Richey this weekend? Not a ton. There's going to be more rain inland. You will see some rain along the coast. And then we see a pattern change where we start to see a little more morning showers. We are now in that stretch of weather starting where it is impossible to tell you who sees the heaviest amounts because, again, it could be pouring across the street and not at your house. And when I say that, I mean Newport Richey versus Port Richey. You know, something close, a neighborhood by, a city by. But the moral of this story is we're going to be seeing rain every day across the area. So eventually it's going to catch up and everybody's going to see their fair share. And that is exactly what we're hoping for. That is the key to everything. Countryside, no rain tonight, Beth. Tomorrow, marginal chance, much better chance on Sunday and Monday. I mean, if you look in the month of June, I think this is the El Nino map. We've seen this El Nino map way too many times. And it's not even El Nino anymore. But it is the month of June, so let's talk a little bit about these maps. And then I'll have to go put together my treat night. Okay, thank you for the stars, Melissa. All stars go toward Children's Miracle Network. Yes, Michael, the rainy season is starting this weekend. Oh, it's your first time at the beach. Sarah, you will love it. You will love Clearwater Beach. It's awesome. Heading to Marathon on Saturday for a week. How does it look for South Florida? A lot better than last week. I think South Florida, yeah, you're going to get, look, South Florida this time of the year has almost always rain at some point and water spouts. You'll see lots of water spouts if you're lucky, and that's kind of cool too. I don't think they're going to ever remove the water restrictions. No lean on Saturday. Nope. No, I have not leaned since. That was like 6 years ago, Denny. 6 years ago, and it hasn't happened since. I do not lean. I went on a cruise, 4 days, no leaning. Well, that's not true, because the boat was like this, because we had 72-mile-an-hour winds, and the boat was listing like this. So I take that back. I was leaning like this. And I was going back and forth because the wind was real. That was real wind. Okay, outdoor ooh, Katie. Yikes. So someone planned an outdoor wedding in Largo. I am rooting for that Largo bubble, and I hope that the Largo bubble holds out for you, because there's definitely going to be a chance of some rain on Saturday evening in Pinellas County. But it's going to be scattered. So the odds are in your favor that it will not be raining during the wedding. But yeah, yikes, that's a gutsy move to have an outdoor wedding planned at the end of June in Florida. Yikes. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one. Okay. No, our tornadoes are nothing. Sarah, our tornadoes are very little. The majority. I mean, every now and again in the wintertime, you might see a significant tornado, but usually ours are very, very small. Yes, Alachua will get rain, Sarah. Notice it doesn't really ramp up till August and September. You see that, guys? June, 6% of all named storms happen in the month of June. Only 8% in July. So it's still very early in the season. Nick, how you doing? August and September is when it gets going. Okay? And then you get that little uptick there in the middle of October, a little uptick. That's typically a Gulf storm that does that. But here in the month of June, we'll show you June and July, and then I have to go get my holiday. Elise, how you doing? Now, Alyssa is a little bit scared of storms. She's a little nervous about storms. She's got that storm anxiety thing going. But we're all good. Cruising from Tampa to Grand Cayman and Cozumel on Saturday. Yeah, you're going to run into some, typical Florida weather. You'll be dodging some storms from time to time. Yeah, our hurricanes are nothing. Our tornadoes are nothing like the ones they have up north. They're just not. All right, so there's where most of the storms develop in June. The Gulf, the Western Caribbean, and then in the Bahamas, which is really where things have been active. I mean, look at that. That is exactly where everything has been forming this month of June. So climatologically, it has been solid. It's almost treat nighttime. Yes, it is, but no one's out there, so that's okay. I mean, work comes first. Treats come second. So that's June, okay? That's right there is exactly where everything is. So this year has been a climatological normal. Now, what about July? Same thing. Western Gulf, Western Caribbean, Bahamas, and then you start to see the tropical Atlantic a little bit. Now, with those warm water temperatures, we might see some action a little earlier, but remember, you've still got your Saharan dust. And like I showed you, there is the Saharan dust right there, limiting development July 3rd to the 9th. Nothing. People are asking about what these things are. I'm sure most everybody knows, but this is our rule number 7 shop on Etsy. And look at the colors. USF, UF, FSU, UCF, Miami, Adam. Look at all these. Coffee mugs, water tumblers, the whole 9 yards, water bottles. All of this goes for local charities. We've been doing this now for several years, and it's a blast. And there's the Rays colors as well. We've got the Bolts, we've got the Bucks, there's the Bucks. So, I mean, technically they're not the Bucks colors. We couldn't do that, but they're kind of look like Bucks colors, if you know what I mean. There's USF colors. And if you go on the top of the page, on my Facebook page, you go Etsy.com. I mean, it's rule7shop.etsy.com. Rule7shop, the number 7, rule7shop.etsy.com. Or just go to the top of my Facebook page. You'll see the links for these designs, as well as these designs on T-shirts and hoodies like I'm wearing. And there's some other designs too. This is the Fire and Water. Kind of a cool one, huh? So again, all proceeds benefit Children's Miracle Network. There's one of me. That's kind of a funny one. That's also available. And then there's some more. So these are all available And as I said, it's also available in t-shirts and hoodies and hats and the whole 9 yards. They're all at the top of this page. Planning an outdoor party for 60 people in Flagler on Saturday. Annette wants to know. Annette, there will be lightning. But what time? Wait a minute. What time did you say? What time is that outdoor party, Annette? Patty, you can go on the Etsy page and you'll find them. They're all right there. They're all right there. 4 to 6. Okay. Well, let's look. Let's look. All right. 4 to 6 on Saturday. Okay. So 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Yeah. I mean, most of it inland. Dare I say you will probably, during that time frame, you will see some lightning and some rain. Not necessarily where you are at your party, but certainly close enough. I mean, Annette, you know, you're a Floridian. It's Florida. It's the summer. It's going to rain a lot. It just does. That's where we get most of our rain, our water totals for the year. We need the rain. So I'm not going to complain about it, but that is what happens. 23rd wedding anniversary in St. Augustine this weekend. Rain. Grace. There will be rain, but it will not be a washout. Absolutely not be a washout. Yes, you will have some rain at times, but it will not be a washout. Did I say it will not be a washout? 1 o'clock in Spring Hill area, Saturday. Right? See, these are the kind of questions that are good. 1 o'clock on Saturday. I kind of think there will be. I hate to say this, but 1 p.m. on Saturday. There you are. So certainly close enough. Yeah, but it might not be raining at your house. I'll say it again. Might not be raining at your house, but there will be rain out there. Yeah, now Jason's asking about how will these August to September season Gulf storms behave with intensification. That is my biggest concern. I know of Matt, Nick. I don't know Matt personally, but I certainly know of Matt. He's a good guy. So, what was the question? What was the question? I can't remember the question. Wait a minute. What was the question? What? Oh, that's right. Hurricanes. Yeah, that is my biggest concern. All the warm water. I don't think that's going to have much of an impact on how many storms develop, but I think it's going to have a big impact on how strong the storms develop that do develop. And that is our biggest concern. Not how many develop, but the ones that do develop over that warm water will get stronger, which is why I think NOAA and everybody else is predicting more major hurricanes and more hurricanes because of the warm water. That is my biggest concern. I don't care how many form if they're out in the middle of the ocean and they don't bother anybody. But when you're talking the Gulf of Mexico, and that was the question. By the way, see, this is the rule number 7 hoodie, one of them that you can get on the Teespring page. There's 2 links. Etsy is the mugs and everything. Clothing is a different link, and that's where you get all the hoodies and everything else. I got to order some new hoodies with the new logos because I love the new logos. But yeah, in the Gulf, with it being as warm as it is, if you get a storm traveling in the Gulf, coming in from the south, that one is nerve-wracking because it's going to hit somebody. It's going to hit somebody. Whether it's the west coast of Florida, whether it's the Panhandle, whether it's Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, whatever. It's going to hit somebody. So you get a storm coming in from the Caribbean, from the south, and hitting that warm water. That is our biggest concern, without any doubt. That is our biggest concern. Okay, Tracy's going to Disney on Monday through Friday. Any days looking like a washout? No. And by the way, rain at Disney's not a bad thing because a lot of people leave. And then, you can't ride Thunder Mountain if it's raining, or some of the outdoor rides. Maybe Tron, I guess, which is tough to get a ticket anyway unless you're doing a lightning lane. But it'll rain for a half hour and then it'll be over. That's it. You are not going to see all-day rains this weekend. You're not going to see all-day rains next week. You're going to see typical Florida stuff with scattered afternoon and evening storms. West-southwest winds starting Sunday into Monday. You'll actually probably start getting some late morning coastal showers and storms. And I'll throw out one more thing. When you get a west-southwest wind this time of the year, it often can lead to water spouts in the morning. And that is something that you often, in fact, dare I say, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, I bet we see a water spout off the coast. I bet we do. So we will see, and if we do, I will post it. And I will say, hey, remember when we talked about that? What about a cruise to St. Thomas the end of September? All right, so Sheila. So here's the thing about that. I don't think it's going to get as far up as, Blue Ridge, Georgia, yes, it is. The moisture is going to get that far up. Peak of the hurricane season, September 10th. It's going to run through the end of September. The odds are rather high that there will be a hurricane somewhere in a 10-day stretch around St. Thomas in September. If you can't go to St. Thomas, they'll take you someplace else. That's what the cruise ships do. But there's a reason you got that cheap fare, and I've done it myself. You get a much cheaper fare in September, and you're like, why is it such a good deal? It's because there's hurricanes in September, and they're going to lower the fares. But they're not going to cancel that cruise. They're just going to go somewhere else, and you'll be fine. All right? All right. Water spouts are pretty awesome, Brandy. They are pretty cool, although unfortunately there was one Crystal River Sunday that did some damage to some places right there on the beach in Crystal River, or out on the water. Okay, so guys, I'm going to rest my voice now. It's almost gone, but it made it, 45 minutes. And it's treat night, so I'm going to go put the treats out, and I'm going to take pictures and post as always. 30th, we're coming up in November on our 30th anniversary of being a TV station here. I don't know how the heck that happened. Time flies, doesn't it? Holy cow. You guys have a great week. Now, I will be on next week. I think I'm going to go on Monday and Tuesday because I'm on vacation as of next Wednesday. So we took this to a little 2-3 day deal before. This is our family vacation. So I think I'll do a DPL Monday and Tuesday, and then I will be off the rest of the week and into the following week for the 4th. So Doty wants to know what treat night is. Treat night is I mentioned this earlier, it is a Thursday night tradition here at ABC Action News. It started back in the days of Marty Tucker, Brendan McLaughlin, Wayne Shaddick, and Drew Soysher. Every Thursday, somebody brings a different treat. One time, somebody brought a veggie platter. They have never lived that down. Another day, somebody brought pizza. Well, I love pizza. It ain't a treat. It's got to be somewhat sugar-based, you know? So that is what treat night is. And mine are, tonight, lots of cupcakes and cake pops. These cake pops are funny. I'll post a picture later. All right, you guys have a great night, and we will see you. Have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully you'll get some rain where you live. Hopefully it won't rain out your wedding plans or anything else. And hopefully you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on Monday on our next edition of Denis Phillips Live. You guys have a good night.